Hey everybody, this is H2, coach of the San Diego Sandiles, bringing you my Week 4 battle in the PVL Draft League against Savage14455. Now, this battle is pretty important. At this point, I'm sitting at a 1-2 record with a not great differential, so I really do want this win to try and give myself a better chance of getting into the playoffs at the end of the season. And Savage, however, is a pretty good player. He has a very threatening team. We see Slowbro and Amoonguss that double regenerator core because it's very hard to break through, along with powerful attackers in Scizor and Dugtrio, as well as, Gliscor, which can just do all sorts of things. And so his team's pretty threatening, and I'm bringing on a weird set, because a lot of his Pokemon are pretty slow, and so most of my Pokemon are very little speed, very high bulk investment, just trying to hit hard and keep hitting, and not really give him a chance to get in a good defensive position. I basically want to be on the offense the entire time, and just hitting him until hopefully his Pokemon go down. And, well, does that happen? Let's check into the battle and find out. So this is, like I said, the Week 4 battle against Savage. He got that bucket hat on, very classic look, and he leads with his Dugtrio. So I, in this battle, led with my Hydreigon, because I figured that Hydreigon had a pretty good matchup against any one of his Pokemon individually. It beats a lot of his team 1v1. And I have a couple of coverage moves on this so I can hit most of his team. He also doesn't have a Dark Resist. He didn't bring his Grand Bull, which I was pretty surprised about. So that means I can kind of just freely go for Dark Pulse and chunk any one of his Pokemon pretty hard. I do get the turn 1 crit on this Amoonguss. However, because of the Black Sludge and Regenerator, and the fact that it can just switch out afterward, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I do go into my Espeon, trying to block any sort of possible Spore, but he actually pulls a double switch here, going into Slowbro. Whether I was expecting the Espeon or not, I'm not sure, but either way, I'm actually fine because I do have Shadow Ball on this. This is actually a Max Spadef Assault Vest Espeon designed to take on Amoonguss. And so this Slowbro goes for Scald. It does very little damage, and I actually see from the Shadow Ball damage that this Slowbro is also Max HP, Max Spadef Assault Vest. I'm not Max HP, I'm Max Special Attack. But this does tell me that I can do a good amount of damage. But he just switches out, again, taking advantage of that Regenerator. We see a lot of Regenerator mind games here, with his Pokemon kind of swapping back and forth, getting each other back to full, and there isn't a whole lot I can do about it. That Shadow Ball really does not do a lot, which tells me that, well, not Assault Vest because it is Black Sludge, both Amoonguss and Slowbro are very specially defensive, which can be an issue because a lot of my team is very specially oriented. But here I go for the Psychic. I didn't want to try to predict Slowbro coming in, I just wanted to attack what was in front of me, and I do a lot of damage to Amoonguss, like nearly knocking it out. At this point, I know that Shadow Ball can kill, and so he has to switch, because I can very easily go for a Shadow Ball. And that's exactly what I do, and that's exactly what he does. I was hoping for Slowbro to come in, and I do get Slowbro coming in, which means I'm able to get a Shadow Ball off, super effective damage, but again, because of just how especially bulky this Slowbro is, it's only doing about a quarter, which is good, especially because I get a special defense drop, and that's key, because now a Shadow Ball will do about half, which means that he is going to have to switch out to prevent Slowbro from getting too low. And here he goes into Scizor. I think what he might have been expecting me to expect a Amoonguss and then go for a Psychic, but I was just going to attack what was in front of me, and I get some valuable chip damage on the Scizor, as he just goes for a Bullet Punch and knocks me out. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of set this Scizor is. It could be banded. He's brought Iron Plate in the past. I do see no lefties, so it's not like a bulky Scizor, although based on the damage, I think it is max HP. Here I go into Darmanitan, because his only fire resist is Slowbro, and Flare Blitz, because it is max HP and max special defense, still does over half. Nothing on his team really switches into Flare Blitz. You'll see the Gliscor also takes over half, even though this is, as he told me, a max Impish Gliscor. So Flare Blitz just does a lot of damage. And at this point, he switches out again. Maybe a misplay on his part, maybe he should have preserved Gliscor, but I'm just kind of clicking Flare Blitz and doing a lot of damage to everything on his team, slowly wearing his Pokemon down, and this Flare Blitz is over half. Now here, it is with a crit, it does over half, but I calced it, and even without the crit, it still would have been a lot of damage and would have been able to do a 2 KO. But ultimately it doesn't matter because he does switch out, and I go for a U-turn. This was kind of a misplay on my part, because if I just gone for Flare Blitz again, I could have just claimed a kill, but I just wanted to U-turn because I knew he would switch out, and I wanted a bit of a favorable matchup. And so here I'm able to go back to my Hydreigon. Like I said before, Hydreigon beats pretty much any of his Pokemon 1v1. Nothing really wants to deal with Hydreigon. And I can just go for a Dark Pulse, either knock out this Gliscor, or hit one of his other Pokemon very, very hard. I go for Dark Pulse, it hits the Garbodor. Garbodor, again, another very typically defensive Pokemon, but I do just about half. And I am carrying Earth Power. Not actually for Garbodor, I actually expected the Mega Steelix to come in this matchup, but it actually worked out pretty well because it also hits Garbodor very hard. And so I'm able to knock that out as he goes into his Slowbro. And you noticed a couple crits earlier, and I was talking with Savage about the battle, about like kind of RNG in my favor. But the RNG is actually yet to come, because neither of those crits really matter just because of how the Regenerator Pokemon are working. But here I go for Darkinium Z. I'm hoping he'd stay in, being confident in his Assault Vest that he could live anything, even though at the range he was at, Darkinium Z had a chance to knock him out. But I just go straight for the Black Hole Eclipse, and this does knock out the Amoonguss, and that's one Regenerator Pokemon gone, which is really good, because without Amoonguss, that severely limits his ability to just switch Pokemon in and out forever, and it's going to wall my special attackers. So that's one very big threat down. Now he goes into his Slowbro. His Slowbro's at full, and I know Dark Pulse is a 3-hit KO for a Max Assault Vest, and I know that because I am very bulky, he can't kill me back unless he gets a crit or a freeze with Ice Beam. But I actually get a flinch, which is really, really important. Because of that flinch, I'm at significantly more health than I would be if he had been able to go for Ice Beam twice, because he's only able to go for Ice Beam once. And because I'm so bulky on my Hydreigon, it actually does less than half, which puts me at a really good spot where I can click Dark Pulse again. He does switch out, again wanting to preserve his Slowbro, just because the Regenerator is so important to his team. But I just go for Dark Pulse again, and this time I'm able to knock out the Gliscor. So Hydreigon, he really, I think he kind of made a mistake with his prep not bringing Granbull, because Hydreigon just kind of runs through his team, because he does not have a Dark Resist. So here he goes to a Scizor, he goes for Bullet Punch, and just based on how much damage this did, I'm pretty sure it's banded, but thankfully because of the earlier flinch, I do live the Bullet Punch, and I'm able to go for Flamethrower and knock out the Scizor. Another very big threat, a Pokemon I was very scared of, gone. And so at this point, he goes into his Dugtrio. Dugtrio, I'm predicting Scarf, because I think he should have been afraid of Scarf Darmanitan, and the only way he can stop Scarf Darmanitan is Scarf Dugtrio, so I'm pretty sure this is Scarf. So as he goes for Rock Slide, I know he's locked into it, and I can go into my Nidoqueen. I'm expecting him to switch out. However, I do know that Earth Power chunks Slowbro as well as just straight up knocks out Dugtrio. So Earth Power is safe. I don't have to go for any predictions with like trying to T-Bolt expecting the Slowbro or trying to Ice Beam expecting him to stay in. I can just go for Earth Power. We see it's a 2-hit KO. He has to switch out. Maybe he thought he could live the Earth Power, but I am Max Special Attack Life Orb Modest, and this is going to do a lot of damage. I believe, depending on how bulky, if he had any health investment, this might have been a roll. But Dugtrio is just so frail that it just knocks him out easily. And now he goes into a Slowbro, and I go for the T-Bolt. I actually expected T-Bolt to kill just because, you know, Modest, Life Orb, Sheer Force. But the Power of the Assault Vest is strong. He lives it with a little bit of health. He goes for Psychic. But as I said at the beginning of the game, all my Pokemon are extremely bulky. They're almost all max HP. So I'm able to live that Psychic and finish him off with a T-Bolt, securing myself the 6-2 victory, which is great for me. That's +4 differential, putting me at a positive differential after this game. Still not in the top 6, so I am going to have to win more, but it's starting to look up for H2. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.